it's Holly and welcome back to my book world. So for today's video, I'm going to share with you all of the books I plan to read in the month of November. Yes, it's November. Halloween is over. For you guys that probably live in the States, it's probably the month of Thanksgiving for you guys. But in the month of November, because I'm in Canada, Thanksgiving is already over. That was in October. So yeah, I don't think there's really much in November for Canadians. Maybe there is and I'm just missing something. But so yeah, let's just jump right on into my November TBR. The first book that I am planning to finish, and I mean finish because I've already started it, in the month of November is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This follows a girl, her friend, and a boy where the girl is friends with, I guess, that they went to camp together. But ultimately, the boy's father goes missing, and her best friend thinks it'd be a good idea to go and see the boy that she hasn't talked to in a while. Of course, since probably camp, I think it is. And there's, of course, a money reward. So her friend thinks it would be cool to go over there and see if her friend has any whereabouts or any ideas of where his father may have gone. Because, of course, she's interested in the money reward. That's all I know. That's all I know so far. Just because I like going into these books not knowing anything. So hopefully I get to finish this book because so far I'm enjoying it and I'm super intrigued to see where the story takes us. The second book I hope to finish this month, and yes, I also mean finish this book because I started this in October, just never got a chance to finish it before the end of the month, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. This follows a girl in the olden days, and of course women back then were supposed to be the housewife, tea parties, all that kind of fun stuff, and she is intrigued with her uncle's business, and her uncle dissects, so you will say, dead bodies to figure out how the person was murdered or the cause of death, and she is super intrigued in that until her uncle is accused of course, being Jack the Ripper, the mass murderer in her town, and of course she doesn't believe that, so she's trying to prove him not guilty, and the story just goes on and on from there. The sequel, I'm hoping to get to as well, but you'll see that later on in this video. The next book I'm hoping to get to this month, it has been sitting on my bedside table to pick up next after Stalking Jack the Ripper, but I think I'm just going to go right into the second one unless I decide to pick it up for audiobook. But the book that I'm hoping to pick up this month is This Is Where It Ends by Marie... I have no idea how to pronounce that last name, but there it is for you guys. I already butchered the first name. I'm not going to double butcher the last name, but anyways, this follows a story about a school shooting. That is all I know. That's all I want to go into the story knowing. I think you already get the perspective of the shooter, but I could be wrong again. I don't know a whole lot except it follows a school shooting, and I'm intrigued by it. Not that I'm intrigued by school shootings, I'm just intrigued by the storyline to see how the story plays out. Moving on to the next book I hope to get to this month, and of course these TBRs are not set in stone because I could change my mind a million, maybe even 1,000, maybe even 1,000,000,000,000 times by the time I even decide I want to pick this one up. But ultimately, in the month of November, I want to pick up The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. This is a Christmas Carol retelling, except it's a girl and she's a Scrooge. That's all I know. The back just says, you know how the story goes, right? There's the old banker type named Ebenezer Scrooge who shuffles around saying, "Bah humbug." On one Christmas Eve, he's visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. In the morning, he wakes up, like completely terrified, and says to himself, "This is my chance, I can change my future." Then he supposedly lives happily ever after. It's a nice story, but that's not how it happened for me. So, of course, this story follows a girl named Holly Chase, and I don't know if she becomes Scrooge, or if she becomes one of the ghosts. I'm not too sure how it plays out. But I am super excited to get to this, especially because November is when people start getting ready for Christmas. I think this would be a good read before Christmas, or I may decide just to leave it till December. But hopefully in November I get to this. Then moving on, in November I'm hoping to get to Dumplin by Julie Murphy. I'm super excited for this. I keep seeing the casting for the movie and I'm just super intrigued. And I just love the whole aspect that this is a female protagonist that is not your typical angelic, super perfect body protagonist. I love the fact that she's a bit pudgy or a little bit bigger than most protagonists in movies, in books are portrayed, and I think that's a good outlook for women, especially ones that may have a health condition that may struggle with their weight, or ones that just don't feel like you know, they read about all these fantastic girls that are super skinny and have the perfect body, and then it portrays girls who are a little bit bigger, that they want that perfect body, and then it just brings on a bunch of problems. And I think this is a perfect story that I'm hoping portrays the concept perfectly, because we need more female protagonists that aren't that typical character that's super skinny, perfectly toned, you know, angelic character. I think we need more diversity within this topic, and I'm not saying anything's wrong about being skinny, because there's nothing wrong. Everybody has their own body type, and I think each woman should embrace it for who they are. I don't think it should be shamed, and you find a lot in TV and books these days and literature and stuff like that, that it is portrayed that women have to be this image of supermodel skinny and perfectly toned, and that's not reality. So I'm hoping this portrays it really well. The sequel is coming out in 2018 called Put In, so I'm really intrigued by this story. Last on my November TBR is the sequel to Stalking Jack the Ripper, and that is Hunting Prince Dracula, and of course it is by Carrie Maniscalco. I don't know too much about this, except it follows the same girl, and hopefully she's trying to hunt Prince Dracula. That's all I need to know. I'm assuming she's still going to follow in her roots of forensic science, which is where it's really intriguing by the first one. So I'm hoping it follows through for the second one. The first one has pictures in it. This one I don't believe has, oh, it does have pictures. I think it just has a little bit less pictures in it than the first one. There's just an example, but I don't want to know too much going into this one. I picked up the second one because the first one is super intriguing for me, and like I said, I'm hoping it continues on with the forensic aspect, because that is really what has held me on to the first book and kept my mind racing and really interested in the story. So hopefully to get to this one next, right after Stalking Jack the Ripper. So that is all for my November TBR. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I would like some video suggestions, so leave those comments down below. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, if you guys are interested in certain shelves on my shelf to do a tour on, because I don't want to do a full bookshelf tour, but I have a contemporary TBR shelf. I have a mystery thriller horror shelf. I have a contemporary shelf where I've read all the books. I have fantasy shelf. They're kind of all organized by genre, and ones that I haven't read and ones that I have read. So if you guys are interested in that, please leave those comments down below, as well as other video suggestions, and I really hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I get to all these books. But like I said, my mind changes a million times a day, so my TBR is probably going to change a million times a day. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye!